What's going on, guys? It's Dave Haas here with the Rise Up Rich podcast, and I'm sitting here with my good buddy Eric Bello. Helped me set up the podcast studio. So you guys are listening to one of the first recordings ever of the Rise Up Rich podcast. So hey, Eric, welcome to the podcast, and thanks for setting this thing up.
Thanks for letting me set it up.
Right on. Well, Eric, you've been kind of a student of spiritual development and whatever else over the past couple of years. You started diving into it a little bit. You read Letting Go, a couple other books that you've gotten into. What do you think your biggest takeaways are from what you've learned to this point?
Well, obviously self-awareness and how it's made me feel a lot more free in my life. I used to be concerned about a lot of the wrong things in life, and it's given me a lot more clarity on what I want to focus on and what matters. It's made a huge impact in my life.
Yeah, for sure. Because you were like, what would you say your state of living was before you kind of had that realization?
Well, for one, it was a keeping up with the Joneses attitude.
Man, that is like everybody's problem right now. Like one of my coaching clients, his biggest thing is he's just so concerned about what everyone else thinks. And he wants to succeed, but for all the wrong reasons. And for me, that was a huge turnaround for me, was when I stopped trying to succeed for other people and started wanting to succeed for me and for the right reasons. And you're starting to experience a little bit of that on your own as well now with, you're starting to go down your own path. You used to have a sales job where you're busting your ass and you said, fuck this, I want to be an IT guy, and went back to school. And so just tell us a little bit about that path and how you did it.
Well, the decision to go back to school for IT was something I did because I enjoyed sales. I'm a very personal person, and I just love being out and dealing with people on a daily basis, but I always had a nerd passion that I didn't want people to know about. People are kind of shocked when they find out that I build computers the first time I tell them. They just don't expect that out of me, but it's something I love to do, and I got to go back and learn a lot of cool stuff. And from there, now it's kind of growing because I want to get into more. And learning in college and learning through books that was just the beginning of it. Now I've caught on that I can learn online, teach myself things that I've never done before very easily. And it's awesome, like having a broad knowledge base and knowing a little about a lot of things is pretty powerful. It's awesome.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. It's like so many people are so obsessed with like learning traditionally, and they're doing it to please their parents or whatever it may be. You got to go and get that degree. But in this day and age, like I personally think that traditional learning is like going to be a thing in the past in the next 20 years, just because everything is just online. Like you could literally, I'm probably going to get shit for this, but you could literally become a doctor with all the information that exists online. Now, obviously, we still want our doctors to go to med school and get that practical experience. But I think you hit the nail on the head with this, was that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do now. Like there is no more go to school and get a fucking job. Like whatever you want to do, if you want to rescue animals, you can create a career to that. If you want to fucking make gourmet sandwiches, you can create a career out of it. Like literally, and you can create a career out of it without even having to go to school. If you really didn't want to, you could just sit down at your computer, wake up early at 5 a.m. This is something that you do too. You get up early, 5 a.m, and you research the shit that you want to know about. And I think part of the reason why it's easy for you to get up at 5 a.m. to research the shit you want to know about is because you're genuinely interested in it. If you were just doing it to make money, you wouldn't be able to get up at 5 a.m, I bet.
No, not at all. And one of my big things I couldn't stand about college, whether it was even some of the stuff I learned doing information technology. I went to St. Clair College before for a marketing program, and I had to learn a ton of stuff I did not give a fuck about. They forced you to take classes and so that you were prepared for the marketing portion of it. But that's what I was in high school for when I had to take a bunch of classes. But now I'm paying for it to learn things that I don't need. I didn't care that much about accounting. I'm not going to be an accountant. I will take something specific to that if I need to know how to do it, if I'm not going to hire someone to do it for me.
Yeah, for sure. And you just read the book 4 Hour Workweek too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, what were like some of the eye openers on that book?
Well, one of the biggest things was not micromanaging, and if there's something that you don't know how to do, outsourcing it isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
I've found that you save yourself a lot of time, and you only have so much time in a day. You have your own talents. Focus on what you're talented at, what you enjoy being creative with, and you're going to succeed. You can always outsource other duties to other people. That doesn't mean you're not trying hard enough, that you don't need to know everything.
Yeah.
You can't know everything.
Fuck your weaknesses. Play your strengths. I mean, you know what I mean? That is like such a great thing. Like, screw what you're bad at. Just focus on what you're good at, because what you're good at is what gives you the passion and the energy to move forward. It's like you said, like, you get up at 5 a.m. because you were researching things you want to do. If you were doing something that you don't like doing, like, I don't know, give me an example of something that you would like. You outsource what, some graphic design. Actually, you do like doing graphic design, but you outsourced it, right? And that's just something that you were able to like push your own time and create more time for yourself for the stuff that you want to be doing. That was one of the biggest things I had to realize as a business person. Was when I first started out, I was really reluctant to relinquish any control to anybody else. I wanted to do everything on my own. But I soon came to the realization that in order to move forward into an advance, I would have to let go of a lot of that control. And a lot of the things that I were doing were simple, mundane tasks that I could really have paid anybody to do. So once I started doing that, and I started relinquishing that control and giving it over to my employees and empowering my employees, that's when the real growth started to happen. And that's when I was allowed to start focusing on the things that energize me, like the creativity behind the business, the business development. Those are the things that charged me up and made me want to get up out of bed and do more work. And those are also the things that created a way more business. So before, a lot of what I was doing was only focusing on the operation of the business. So I had to make the transition from an operator to an actual entrepreneur.
And not only do I think you're not taking on tasks that are keeping you back with your profession, with your business. It's also you're gaining that extra time in your home life to actually enjoy life, which is something that a lot of people forget to do.
Fuck yeah.
That your work that's not it. If somebody said that you have a week to live, are you doing right now what you would want to be doing in your last week? If the answer is no, you need to be trying to change something. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, man.
If there's something that you think you'd enjoy more, that you could be more creative with, like, give it a shot. If there's anything I took from the Letting Go book, I think one of the biggest things was the difference between I can't and I won't. And I pretty much apply that to everything I do now. It's a very simple question. You can ask yourself if you're kind of cheating it.
Yeah, give me an example on that, because I think that's like a super huge pull away from letting go. And it's crazy about that book, Letting Go. If you guys haven't heard about it, it's by Dr. David Hawkins. It's his last book, actually, and he was probably the closest thing to an enlightened being that we had on this planet since, like, you know, Jesus, Krishna, Buddha, those kind of people. And his last book was a game changer for me and for you. But the thing that I love about letting go is everyone takes away a different thing, you know, or multiple different things. But for you, it was this I can, I won't. So you kind of described it there. But give me an example of something that you can't, or that you changed from I can't to I won't.
I think one of the big things was getting up in the morning, for one, and having more discipline in my life, which just kind of unfolded and unraveled into a much larger thing for me. I would have to say, well, for one, my weight loss, and over the past 8 months now, getting healthier. It wasn't a diet plan that I wanted to go on. I wanted to become a healthier person, and I made the choice to do that. And slowly, I, exactly like we're talking about, would get up at 5 a.m, watch YouTube videos to better understand why I'm groggy in the middle of the day, why I'm bloated, why I feel like crap, why I have fucking stomach pain, and a lot of different things. Doctors thought that I might have had Crohn's disease, and I was having a lot of pain, and so I learned to properly eat. And I went a year now without any more stomach pain. I've lost 40 pounds and feel the healthiest and the lightest I ever have in my life. And I've never, not even in high school was I at this weight, but I feel great. And I had somebody say to me before, like there's no special number for weight. It's where you feel comfortable and good. Well, right now I feel great, but that was an I can't before, and and then I turned it into I won't, because there's nothing you can't, especially something like that. So many people will come up to me and say they try to cheat it, and they try to say, oh well, like what kind of diet were you doing? I couldn't follow that one, and everybody thinks that you drank some special shake or you did something crazy that just magically makes you thin, and that's not the reality. You need discipline, and the answer nobody wants to hear is that you have to actually just diet and exercise and stick to it.
Yeah.
But people stick with the I can't side of it and just don't want to believe that. So they'll try to act like maybe you're unhealthy, and it's you get a lot of different reactions from people that don't.
Well, I mean, hey, man, like some super great points there that I think you made, and just changing the perspective, the mindset of I'm a vegetarian, been a vegetarian for 15 years, and when I tell people I'm a vegetarian, the first thing they say to me is, I could never do that. Well, could you never do that? Or you wouldn't, you won't. It's not I can't, I won't, right? So, and the other thing that you hit the nail on the head was with this magic pill. Everyone thinks there's a magic pill to success, or there's a magic pill to weight loss and being healthy. But the secret is, there is no fucking secret. Like, just do the work, Get out there and do it, and stop watching Netflix. If you want to succeed, go out there and actually succeed, And if you fail and fall flat on your face, it's actually just a learning lesson that's moving you closer to success. But everyone thinks they got to talk to a millionaire, or they got to read all these books. And yeah, books are great, and talking to mentors is great, but if you don't actually fucking do anything, you're never going to get anywhere. And a lot of people are just using this excuse that there's this magic pill, or they don't have enough money, or whatever it may be. But there is no magic pill. Just go out there and do the fucking work. I mean, you're a prime example of that, man. You've been doing the work and had huge success. But I think that, I'm going to speak for you here. You tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the change that you've experienced in your life over the last, couple of years here, you quit a job that you're unhappy at and went into something that you wanted to be happy at, which I think probably completely changed your life, right? Then you were out of shape, having stomach issues, going to the doctor thinking you have Crohn's. You completely do a 180 with your health. You lose all this weight. I remember when I saw you a while back, I'm like, holy fuck, like what the hell have you been doing, man? Like I even got into the magic pill moment for a second. So you got to control your health, but I think it could all be summed up as awareness. I think you just, at some point, it might have been reading Letting Go. It might have been just, some other realizations you had, but in some point, I think you've created a greater self-awareness is the way I think would really sum it up. And that's where it started for me, was with food. Like for me, it started with food. I was like, when I decided to become a vegetarian, that was the first time I actually ever had any awareness of what I was putting into my body. Before, I was just eating because I was hungry. I was actually not thinking of where the food came from or how it was affecting me. And once I had that one little small taste of awareness, I just wanted more and more and more. And then I started applying it into my personal life, to my business life, and the door was wide open.
I think every time you accomplish something new and you're aware that you did it, whenever that point is that you acknowledge that I did it, it just makes you want more.
Yeah.
Every time you turn that I can't into an I won't and accomplish it, that's a big moment, I think.
I mean, if you have to push through those walls of uncomfortability to really ever achieve any success. If you're not getting uncomfortable, you're not fucking growing. That's all it comes down to. So if you're not pushing yourself to wake up at 5 a.m, like you said, changing it from an I can't to I won't, and saying, okay, I'm going to do this, right? And go through that uncomfortable week or two, getting up at 5 a.m. when you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? But eventually that becomes the norm for you, and it's no longer so hard. It's a little bit tough, and then all of a sudden it becomes second nature to you, right? So yeah, I mean, great stuff. I mean, we did this podcast because we had just got the podcast set up here, but this goes to show you that everybody has something to teach and help others. And Eric's a prime example. He was like, "You really want to do a podcast right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it, man. You got a lot of stuff, great stuff to say." So thanks for coming on, and we'll have you back again for sure.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. See how fucking good that is?